What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and we got to talk about the Skip Bayless interview with all the smoke. He's sitting across from Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, and what I can say about Skip, he's been accessible over these last few weeks, and I think that's actually good for Skip to come be a regular guy. After seeing him on TV so much, feel how you want to feel about Skip, but he's brought us two of the biggest sports personalities. And you have to look back at First Take, who he had. Stephen A. Smith got him back in with the network. He's actually going to talk about that in this video, and how Stephen A. Smith called him begging Skip to do him that solid and get him back, on the worldwide leader. And also, Shannon Sharpe was over there for a few episodes before they went to Undisputed. So we're gonna listen to Skip, but we're gonna go back to what Matt Barnes said first, because he asked him a lot of questions about even getting personal with LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. So let's check out what Matt said in the past first. Let's peep.
But I know personally, that I've had to diffuse two situations, one with the coach and one with the NBA player. They wanted to fuck Skip up. Personally, I've had to do it. One was this year, one was last year. But personally, I had to reach out to Unc and set up a conversation for people who wanted to fuck Skip up. But, luckily cooler heads have prevailed. But, I mean, I just see it's just gone too far, in my opinion. And again, Shannon's had a lot of love, or does have a lot of love for Dude, but you could even see Shannon's fed up. And someone's going to end up hurting Skip because his ego, his arrogance, his disrespect has kind of always been on this level. But now I think it's going to a new level. And now he's disrespecting his co-host and Shannon. And again, someone, they've had a great working relationship over the years, but this dude Skip is all bad, and he thinks that he could say and do what he wants and there isn't going to be any repercussions. And there may not be no repercussions from his job, but someone is going to run up on Skip and hurt this man.
You guys changed the dynamic with debate TV, but I felt like kind of like the last 3 years, and where I kind of was outwardly, critiquing as you would critique, was I kind of felt it went from critiquing the game, it went poor play, shitty team, to personal attacks. And two people in particular I felt kind of it got personal at times was with Russell Westbrook and LeBron James. From your experience and understanding who you were, your role, how you really found your niche, and again, assailed to the top, what at one point I felt like there was a line. Again, it was critiquing because that was the job, and then I felt like the line kind of got erased and it was more personal attacks. Can you kind of address your thinking during that and reasoning, or the way you looked at it?
So now we take this man who is the greatest scorer in the history of this game, and let's start with this. By his standards, he's a poor three-point shooter, and by his standards, he's a pathetic free throw shooter at 74% for his career. Jordan was 84%, Magic, Bird, they're 90-ish%, KD 90-ish%. There have been so many flame-out moments for LeBron in his career. And remember, on TV, I was often thrown up against Shannon Sharpe, who loves LeBron like a brother. I mean, like a stalker, if you know the truth, right?
Nah, it's a little scary.
I mean, it got a little scary for me sometimes.
It was scary.
All right. But he's just proclaiming LeBron better than Jordan. Well, I'm the biggest Jordan fan in his.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm right there with you.
Okay. And remember, Kevin chose to leave Russ. And I was told by somebody very close to Kevin Durant, the main reason he left OKC going into his 10th year, that was 10 years. That's a long time. He left because, this was the quote I was told, he finally decided he'd never win with Russ as his primary decision maker, because Russ is dribbling the ball up the court, and it's like Russ gets to choose every time. Near you, because Kevin's usually just over there like, can I have it?
Yeah.
No, I'm going solo. And sometimes he'd get to the rim and slam it, and you say, my God, that was spectacular. And sometimes the ball's flying into the ninth row.
Now, he said much more about those two guys. I just wanted to get into the crux of it and let you kind of hear that. You could go check it out on all the Smoke podcasts. But now we're going to transition into what he said about Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe. Let's check it.
You can ask my wife about this. He would call me every day and say, "Can you get me back on the worldwide leader?" And I would beat on every door in that building. You can ask them all if I didn't just keep saying, "What are we doing? This is ridiculous. He's gifted. He's a force. We got to get him back here." And finally, I think it took 2 years. They, imposed their will on him, because he was too full of himself, I guess, and made him sort of crawl back, if you will. And they let him ease back in on New York radio and writing for New York ESPN.com. On Undisputed, I needed a new partner, and fatefully and fortunately, near the end of my run with Stephen A., there was a week in which Stephen A. had to go do something somewhere. He was always gallivanting all around the country doing whatever he did, being Stephen A. Smith. And we tried Shannon Sharpe, I think for 3 days. And I really liked him in a very different way than I loved Stephen A. But I liked our clique, and it was a whole different dynamic because he's out of your mold. Obviously, he's in the Hall of Fame. So now we had ex-player. We didn't have journalist. We had ex-player journalist.
Obviously, great chemistry. You and Shannon had a great run. Any regrets on how that partnership ended for the show, and any regrets on how the relationship ended?
What did you think about the character? The Uncle Shay Shay character. 'Cause he didn't come on the show doing that with the black and mild and the do-rag and Hennessy and all that stuff.
When he first started it?
Yeah, he didn't come on with that at first when he first got on the show. So when all that came about, what you think about that too?
Okay, it's better for you guys to respond to that than me, but I was still very close with Stephen A. at that point, and he did not love it.
No, yeah.
Okay, and I defer to you.
Nobody did, so we'll
right.
just leave it there.
But you know what? You talk about branding, you talk about Stephen A. Smith. To be Unc was big for Uncle Shannon. And out of that, which he, I think it went away. I don't remember him doing it much over the last couple of years. I don't think he ever did it. But whatever. Unc stayed. Shay Shay stayed. So it ended up being positive for him. Mm-hmm. It made me pretty uncomfortable from my seat. But look, yeah, you ask about regret. I just have one huge regret. We weren't nearly as close as Stephen A. and I were close, but I just wanted us to finish together on time. At some point, he's suggesting he's as good as Tom Brady, or was as good as Tom Brady at that point, still was.
He did not say that.
Huh?
He did not say that.
Well, he did. That's how I interpret it.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, I would have been mad too. Put your glasses back on after you say some shit like that.
Okay.
But nowhere close to Brady.
I'm like, Shannon, and I told him on the air, I said, this guy's in another echelon from everybody else who ever played. There's never been anything like this guy, what he achieved. And Shannon said, I'm in the Hall. I said, I got it. And then he's really mad and he takes his glasses off. Okay, what are we going to do? Fight? Because now you got me. I can't win that one. But let's just cease and desist. And let's go on to the next topic because that's ridiculous. That's as close as we ever got to eruption, explosion.
Skip, you do an hour of cardio every day. You got good footwork. You can move. Shannon hips bad. He can't move. He just top heavy.
But have you ever seen a Chihuahua and a pit bull?
He just top heavy though. Like he can't move. He's just top heavy. He can't move.
Want to see a Chihuahua and a pit bull?
You had hip surgery and all that. Skip do an hour of cardio. He can move a little bit. You can stick and move, Skip.
Okay, he couldn't catch me. Right?
There you go.
I know he couldn't catch me.
There you go.
But that MF is
strong. He's strong.
He is ripped.
Boy. Yeah, he's strong.
That's a big boy.
He's big, big boy, and works hard at being a big boy.
So you hear Skip talking about if him and Shannon would have locked up, that would have been the end of him. And a lot of people has been saying, Shannon has kind of had some of that energy for Ocho when he tried to call him out about being late and stuff. Just some of the same energy, not even the same type of stuff. But there's been a little debate going on online with people going back and forth saying that he got similar energy that Skip had for him for Ocho. I don't know about all that, but It is interesting to look back on Skip's career. You kind of realize what he's done for debate television, some of the doors he's opened. You know, he could be a difficult guy to work with. Yeah, the trolling of LeBron and all that got old to watch, but you can't deny his fingerprints, not as long as Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe are continuing to flourish. When you go back to the kind of the genesis of what they were doing on a major level, not the groundwork Stephen A. put in, because he put in his own groundwork in Archdale, North Carolina, Philadelphia Inquirer, and all that. Sideline reporting, being in the locker rooms, and all that. So he did his own thing on a different level. But Skip was the one that got him that first take opportunity that really just catapulted him into another stratosphere. And also, Shannon Sharpe was able to come on Undisputed and beat Unk and do all that stuff. And I know a lot of people feel like he did the Unk thing to be able to sell certain brands, but you realize, Shannon's a stickler for different things, right? Contrary, I'll just say it, contrary to that what he's portraying, right? He's not even that type of person, but he's selling a cognac now, and he's doing all that type of stuff. So people saying, okay, that was his whole plan. And, he was branding. Shannon was branding, for that Laportier. Um, he's doing a lot of other things now, Club Shay Shay. I think Skip, man, I think for him, Skip should really just start him a Cowboys podcast. Start something with something you're passionate about, something you love, and a brand that ain't going nowhere. I think Skip could reinvent himself. Um, You see how Bubba Dub and all those Cowboy fans go live after Cowboys games? If Skip went live, he would have, 15, 20,000 people online with him, to talk Cowboys. So I think that's where his brand is if he hasn't recognized that yet. Um, but yeah, man, I want to know what you guys think about this. Oh yeah, and I thought it was interesting Stephen A came back begging for his job. That's not the kind of story that Stephen A. Smith tells when he recalls his return to First Take. That's why I'm glad Skip went on and said it, because he's acting like he ain't gonna throw Skip a bone. He's on camera and May saying, I would never work with him again and all this type of stuff. But you call that man begging him for an opportunity when you needed it, and not saying that you can even work with him no more. But if you can't, don't go out there talking about him like that, because he threw you a bone when he didn't have to, and got you back in the doors. You had to suck up your pride and come crawling back, in the words of Skip Bayless. Um, and his departure with Shannon was very different. Shannon had outgrown him as a personality, and Club Shay Shay was already something with a foundation, but it really took off after Skip. Man, he went to another stratosphere. But as far as Stephen A. Smith, he brought you back in those doors, and now you may get 100 million plus out of it. And that's all because of Skip Bayless, man. He didn't get what he deserved with that network and for what he's done. Both of y'all are some of the highest earning guys in that industry. And, you don't owe them no money per se, but definitely the respect, I feel like is owed. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time.